Y'all know before reaction, you got Chrisean Rock proving that Junior can stand up all by himself, even though we know it's through the assistance of the playpen. But she's trying to make it appear as if she did this way before Blue. And it's kind of sad because if it was the case, why didn't you show up before? Why you got to try to prove after the fact? And plus, after Blueface kicked you and Junior to the side, it's kind of sad to me. But I gotta do what I gotta do. I don't care. Y'all save me. I want to play. Hadouken, Street Fighter. Watch it. Hadouken. Now, listen, I'm going to get right into the video, but to me, it's kind of sad because these are the things that she could have been showing. These are the things that she could have been like, you know what, I'm helping and assisting him and making sure that he's reaching those milestones. Let's get right into it.
Hey, how are you? I love you, man. What are you doing? Hey.
Let me tell you how sad it is, right? You notice how before she was around Blueface before, she was all that, right? But after Blueface talking to him, saying, "Hey, I see you, little man, standing up on your own." Now she want to make a video of her talking to him, speaking to him, as she should have been doing. But she know what she always on. It's a fair. That's what she's always on. But I mean, whatever the case may be, it was just to take the heat off of her because everybody didn't seen how he interacted with Blue versus her. Now this is her way of trying to, you know, convince everybody that I'm a good parent as well. I can get that with Jean like that. She said, first time, record. That's up. I like that. Yeah. Anyways, but it's good to see Junior smiling though.
How are you? I love you, man. What are you doing?
Now we gotta let's read some of the comments before we move on from this video. Let's check this out. Pluto inspired her to be a mother. Like I said, this is the bad thing when you do something after someone else, especially with your own child, right? When you do something afterwards, especially since people been complaining, wondering why Junior ain't been doing this, that, and the third, and then you do it after that person, it comes off disingenuous, right? It doesn't come off as an individual that truly wanted to show progress and put themselves on front street for some of the things that she has done to take accountability. One of the biggest things that people don't understand is that suffering, right? Rejoice in your suffering because of what it builds endurance. It builds character and it gives you patience. Because when we go through those things, when we go through the fire, right? When you go through the fire, you're able to withstand all the wiles of the devil. Remember, for we are not unaware of Satan's devices. We have to be aware of how the enemy attacks us. And one of the ways the enemy attacks us is for us to avoid going through things that we have done and coming to terms with things that we have participated in and to see our own wrongdoing. We have to focus on it. If she's willing to do that, she can literally focus on Junior and not care about what people think or say, because that means that she's no longer holding on to guilt. That's how she has to move forward. But until then, it would always be the same thing with Junior. It's always going to be the same thing. He's pulling to stand up, not stand on his own. And that's what I said before. But in her mind, yeah, when my man stand up and song, he walking, he talking, and he don't eat orange, he honey too. Now listen, we understand in Chrisean's mind that walking and talking is her own delusion. But when she see Junior doing this, to me, it's still a good milestone, but I don't want her to live in the delusion because she's never going to help Junior succeed. If she believes in her mind that he's already doing these things, that means she no longer needs to participate in helping him do it. It's like you say, hey, this person already know how to speak English, even though they only know how to speak 2 words. And then you're not going to help them, translate. You're not going to help them with the English language. You're going to leave them in that state where they only know 2 words because you're just in your mind delusional thinking they can speak fluent English. That's how she's using this situation, and it's truly sad to me. It's strange. And people say he should be walking. Yeah, yes, but due to the things that's going on with him, I'm actually happy that he's able to do even that at this point. We got to be happy with that. At this point in time. Let's go to the next clip here. Now you got her kissing Junior. Let's see.
Girl kiss.
I don't think she should be kissing him at all because you sucking on random men's toes all the time. You can't be literally just sucking on people's toes. Let me see your toe. I'm a pour Mountain Dew. I got different flavors of dew on your toes. That's what I like. It's always first sign. Keep up with my spread. You don't got to say words, man. It's no words coming out. But due to the fact that she'd suck a man's toes and kiss Junior like that is to me is strange.
Kiss.
You don't care about where your toes been and all the things that you already done and contributed to. We need to see you literally speaking to him, doing letters, holding his hands, helping him slowly walk or being with a specialist. Let's see that. If you can put everything else on camera, you can do that as well. But Chrisean likes to dibble and dabble, like I said before. God said if it's lukewarm, he'll spit it out. Remember, you cannot be on one side playing the field with the other. God is not like that. You can't be saying, "Oh, I want to be for him," but then you still doing the things of the world. That's why a lot of people get caught up with monitoring spirits and gang stalking and all these altars build up inside them. A lot of people don't realize that you're born with altars in you. That's why when you get a certain age, you notice that certain things you start to repeat what your family members have done, or people that came previous before you, that you're starting to emulate that same thing. You're like, why am I doing the same thing my mom did? I'm in the same situation that this person in my family is doing, and I can't seem to move forward. Because that's what the enemy likes to do, keep you in a revolving door. How you break those cycles is submitting yourself. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he what? Will flee. So we got to remember that. But this is crazy. But I'm happy to see Junior smiling and things of that nature, and at least he's building up those muscles in his legs. That's the good thing. Let's move forward. But you know what Chrisean gonna do? It ain't gonna take long for her. It ain't gonna take long for her to go right back outside and do some shit. But let's I gotta go up and come back. Let's see. I ain't gonna play no music, but she gonna go straight from the church. Yahweh is only one way it's going. Strength me. That's what she gonna do. She gonna be right back at the club. And it's always a vibe. It's always gonna be a vibe. It's always gonna be a vibe. But let's get to I think I got Carlissa talking about how she don't let Journey drink after him, which is rightfully so. If Blueface want to be kissing on multiple women, doing all this weirdo, goofy shit, you don't want to put kids on
Ask her dad. Her dad tried to give her some Gatorade that he drank off of. No, I'm going to give her her own Gatorade. Now, if you want to do that when I'm not here, that's on you. But I don't let her drink after grown people either. I don't care who it is. I don't let her drink after grown people. Except for me, her grandma. You know what I'm saying? I got a clean bill of health. I don't be in the streets. I don't be talking to people too close. I keep people's distance. When you know what I'm saying, I know how the world works. But y'all, no, you can't touch Journey Pie. I'm so sorry.
Now, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things about Carlissa I don't like in terms of her using kids for clout and etc. But one thing I gotta say, even a wicked person can say something righteous. Just because a wicked person go outside in the morning and say there's a sun up there, that doesn't mean what they're saying is not true. Then sometimes we got to remember, even people that are not completely 100%, doing the right thing can still say something truthful. So I do understand that. But we got to understand, even Christ said, when he was done preaching, in the Bible, he walked out and they told him that his mom and his brother was waiting on him outside. And then Christ used that as a teachable moment for everyone. He said, he looked at his mom and his brother that was off far a little bit ways, and he turned to his disciples and he said, "Behold, my mother and my brethren." What did Christ mean by that? people can be related to you by blood. That doesn't make them your family. What's family is spirit. That's why you have to be adopted back into righteousness, back to become adopted brothers and sisters of Christ, so you can get back to the Father. People that are related to you in spirit are your family, not the people just by blood. We got to remember something. A lot of times, a lot of people put blood before spirit. That's not the way it should go. But I do understand what she's saying, in this regard, because you never know. People be doing weird stuff, kissing on people and all type of weirdo shit. All right, Carlissa is growing on me. She's right. No one should be drinking after anyone. Carlissa is a great grandmother to the kids. She ain't said nothing wrong. Like I said, I know a lot of people gonna agree with her on that note. You know, I think so. I think if you're behaving in a degenerate like manner, the last thing you want to do is put anybody else's health at risk. But like I said before, that's what the Bible even tells you. Lay hands suddenly on no man. You're not supposed to be around there. That's why when people go to the club, the Bible talks about reveling. Reveling is partying, allowing spirits. Right then they call it wine and spirits. When people drink, you allow spirits to come inside of you and they take a hold of you. And then guess what? Now you're introduced to fornication and things of that nature. And remember, once you lay down with people, that's why the Bible even tells you that if a man lay down with a harlot, he becomes one with her. He said, be not confused that when you lay down with a harlot, you become one. You got to be careful who you're around because those spirits can transfer to people, even transfer to your children. That's why you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful. All right, let's see here. Now, I don't know. Y'all let me know if this is real. I think this is, I don't know. I think this is old or whatever case may be. But Chrisean's mother was in this show and I just saw this clip. So I had to
It
watch it.
doesn't look like he's gonna be able to eat it.
Thank you, man. Sweetheart.
That ain't the only thing sweet on me, baby.
Now I'm just and they go, oh man, this is ridiculous. I guess they just wanted to put their mom in the movie on that part, but I just thought that was just ridiculous. But it is that she know where a lot of the degeneracy, the craziness comes from, right? Now they got an old clip when he first met Chrisean. I want to pull up that. Let me pull this down. I go there. Let me see.
Hey, call, they gotta take it.
Let me get to the end because I ain't trying to watch this whole thing. Well, let me go
How
back.
y'all? Where's security?
I don't know why this particular video keep doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just this video. Every other video.
How y'all
plays,
expect?
but
Where's
this video
security?
don't. But it was a part that when she met Blueface that I just wanted to point out how she was already acting crazy. You could tell through the family, through a lot of other aspects. You could tell she was already acting crazy back then in this situation, even before Blueface came around. That she was already on some, masculine energy. And a lot of times, remember, that's one thing that people don't realize, spiritually speaking, is that they want you to act more masculine as a woman. Because when you act more masculine, these demons want you to, because guess what you're going to start doing? Sleeping around, building up so many bodies, this, that, and the third, destroying your soul, defiling yourself. And then it causes you to go astray and unable to get into a fruitful relationship. That's what the enemy want to do. So we got to be careful with that. Now, Blueface on this video mocked Chrisean by saying that she homeless. I'm not gonna play the clip. I'm just gonna show what he does. A girl come over the house. She need a place to stay. He's trying to push her out, but she's trying to force herself in. And boom, and she comes in. So it's just a joke. Like I said before, it's foolish as hell. But like I said, guys, this is ridiculous. I'm happy at the fact that Chrisean Jr. was smiling. But aside from that, people need to do better. And hopefully Chrisean learned her lesson. Hopefully, but we know she not. She gonna continue to go to the prosperity, use God as a spare tire, use God whenever she just feeling down and lonely before she find a new God, which is another man. So she can be right back out there. And then Blueface gonna be like this. You already know, 101 Dalmatians. You already know. And then Chrisean gonna be like this. Well, I don't really like Dalmatians like that. Oh, I like Shih Tzus. I mean, not shit. I like Shih Tzus. All right, let me know what you guys think, man. I'm out of there.